Arsenal have just destroyed Bayern Munich 3-1 at the Emirates Stadium, handing the German Giants their first loss of the season in all competitions. The Gunners took the lead with their trademark corner routine, before Madueke and Martinelli sealed the win with two clinical second-half goals. Both sides set up in a 4-2-3-1, as Mikel Arteta and Vincent Kompany faced off in a high-stakes battle for the top spot in the Champions League group. Let's break down the tactics both teams deployed in this epic encounter. When Bayern were in possession, they attempted to establish a controlled, structured build-up with Manuel Neuer stepping into the last line as an auxiliary center-back. By positioning himself slightly outside the box, Neuer created a temporary back four, which allowed Bayern to form a 3+2 or 4+1 base, depending on Arsenal's pressing triggers. This adjustment freed Konrad Laimer to push higher into the right half space, transforming their shape from a 4-2-3-1 into something closer to a 4-2-4-1, or even a 2-3-5 during sustained possession. The double pivot of Pavlovic and Kimmich dropped close to the first line, creating multiple vertical staggering options. Their role was to attract Arsenal's first line, manipulate the pressing angles of Merino and Easy, and then release the ball to the advanced midfield four. Ahead of them, Gnabry and Olise held extremely wide positions to pin Arsenal's fullbacks, while Karl and Laimer occupied the interior lanes. Their constant occupation of the half spaces was meant to overload Arsenal's second line and force Rice or Zubimendi into uncomfortable decisions. Harry Kane stayed between Saliba and Mosquera, acting as a reference point and preventing either center-back from stepping into midfield. Kompany's structure was designed to create positional superiority and force Arsenal into a dilemma. If Arsenal pressed with the fullbacks, the wide channels behind them would be exposed, allowing Karl or Laimer to make third-man runs into vacated space. If the midfielders jumped aggressively, Bayern would gain central overloads, enabling simple bounce passes into the half space. If the wingers stepped up to press the center-backs, the backline could easily form a 3-versus-2 superiority and progress through wide progressions or diagonal switches. Bayern's idea was to distort Arsenal's defensive line, create free men between the lines, and access depth behind the midfield through verticality or quick wall passes, with Kane acting as a layoff option. To counter this, Arteta instructed his players to hold a compact, mid-block 4-4-2, prioritizing horizontal and vertical compactness rather than aggressive front-foot pressing. Merino and Easy acted as the first line, curving their runs to screen passes into Kimmich and Pavlovic, forcing Bayern wide where Arsenal could dictate the pressing triggers. Saka and Trossard dropped into the second line, joining Rice and Zubimendi, creating a flat and disciplined block that denied Bayern access to the half spaces. Arsenal's idea was to remove Bayern's interior options, maintain rest defense stability, and force Kompany's side into predictable, low-probability progression. Long diagonals, backward passes to Neuer, or forced switches under pressure. Whenever Bayern attempted to overload a side, Arsenal shifted in a highly synchronized manner, making sure there was always cover and balance, which prevented Bayern from getting numerical superiority in dangerous zones. With their passing lanes compressed and their positional advantages neutralized, Bayern were repeatedly forced into rushed long balls that played directly into the strengths of Saliba and Mosquera, who were dominant in aerial duels and second ball recoveries. Arteta's mid-block successfully removed Bayern's build-up rhythm and denied them the fluidity they needed to progress cleanly into the final third. When Arsenal were in possession, they looked to progress the ball from the back by pushing Miles Lewis-Skelly into the left half space, joining Saka, Yeze, and Madueke between the lines. This movement allowed Arsenal to build with a back three of Timber, Saliba, and Mosquera, giving them stability in the first phase and freeing the wide players to receive higher. Bayern were comfortable allowing Arsenal's defensive line to have the ball and didn't press the first phase aggressively. Instead, they focused on pressing the advancing midfielders and wingers through man-marking principles. Gnabry tracked Saka, while Olise tracked Madueke, effectively locking Arsenal's wide players. This often forced Bayern's backline into a temporary back six, as the fullbacks stayed tight to their marks and the center-backs shifted across to cover depth. In the center, Kane, Pavlovic, and Kimmich focused on blocking the passing lanes into Ease and Lewis-Skelly, maintaining compactness and preventing Arsenal from playing cleanly through the middle. Karl was the only player tasked with stepping out to apply direct pressure on Arsenal's backline, but his press alone was not enough to disrupt Arsenal's structure. To counter this man-oriented press, Arsenal frequently dropped one of the pivots into the defensive line, most consistently Zubimendi, who slotted alongside the back three. With Zubimendi dropping deep, Timber had the freedom to step aggressively into the right half space, combining with Saka through inside movements and rotations. His job was to pull Bayern's markers out of position and create dynamic superiority. On the opposite side, the lack of intensity in Bayern's press allowed Rice to drift wider and higher on the left flank. There, he combined with Lewis Skelly and Madueke, forming a passing triangle and repeatedly creating a 3 versus 2 overload against Bayern's right side. Timber, Saka, and Easy mirrored this structure on the right flank, giving Arsenal consistent numerical superiority on both wings. These rotations, interchanges, and overlapping runs forced Bayern's defenders into constant defensive shifts and opened pockets of space for Arsenal to progress. Although Arsenal created chances through these wide overloads, they became far more dangerous in transition, and this is where their second-half goals came from. The moment they won possession, they immediately looked to attack Bayern at speed with direct long balls and quick switches into the wide channels. This is clearly seen in the sequence leading to Madueke's goal. Upamecano attempted to play into Karl, but Rice intercepted the pass and instantly launched a fast counterattack against an unbalanced Bayern defense. Calafiori sprinted forward to join Easy on the left flank, forming a passing triangle with Rice. With Bayern outnumbered 3-2 in that channel, Rice found Easy, who spotted Calafiori making a perfectly timed overlapping run. The pass released him in stride and his low-driven cross into the box was converted by Madueke. The third goal followed the same pattern. Bayern were committing numbers forward, lost possession in a dangerous zone, and Arsenal immediately punished them with another ruthless transition. 3 passes later, the ball was in the back of the net. In the end, Arsenal's dominance came from their ability to control both phases of the game. In possession, their fluid rotations, half-space overloads, and intelligent use of the pivots consistently disrupted Bayern's man-oriented press. Out of possession, their compact mid-block denied Bayern access to the central lanes and forced them into predictable long balls. And when the opportunities came in transition, Arsenal were ruthless, turning defensive recoveries into direct, high-speed attacks that punished Bayern's disorganized rest defense. Bayern may have tried to dictate the tempo, but Arsenal dictated the spaces. Arteta's tactical adjustments, combined with the players' execution, ensured this performance wasn't just a win, it was a statement. A 3-1 victory, Bayern's first loss of the season, and a clear sign that Arsenal are evolving into a complete Champions League side, capable of controlling, adapting, and dismantling elite opponents. And now the focus shifts to Sunday, where Arsenal face Chelsea in a huge Premier League showdown. Both teams are coming off big Champions League wins, both are high on confidence, and both will see this match as a chance to make a major statement domestically. With the rhythm Arsenal showed tonight and the intensity Chelsea have been playing with, this London derby is shaping up to be one of the standout fixtures of the weekend. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this tactical breakdown, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and drop your thoughts in the comments. More elite football analysis coming soon.